We got a lot to talk about in this video. We have a sea of red today. We have the Nasdaq down almost 4%. We have also the S&P, the Dow, the Russell all down over 3%. The story of the day, though, might be the dollar. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at the dollar. We're going to look at what's happening to gold here, silver, what we could do. We're going to take a look at the technical damage done across the board. And we're going to see what needs to be done to repair that, or how much further downside we could look at across the board. Everything. This is like Black Monday all over again. We have huge movement, huge volatility. We are seeing, whether it's because of the further lockdowns in Europe, it's because of the coming election, either which way, the risk-off mood has become very pronounced. We're going to get into it all together right now. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. I want to start here with the indexes. We're going to look at first the S&P 500, then we'll move over to the Nasdaq, followed by the Dow and the Russell as we always do. And then we're going to take a look at the dollar, at the DXY. We're going to look at what happened here today. An important possible breakout is occurring. That's a big shift, one that we haven't seen since March. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to put all the pieces together. Starting here in the S&P 500, I'm going to zoom out over here. I want to do a couple of things. I want to go to the daily time frame with you, take a step back and look, and you could see, first of all, this was that bull flag that we were tracking. This was that downward sloping channel, which was a bullish event over here until we broke down here today. And this now obviously has done some technical damage over here. You could see from this vantage point, though, that our 3276 support line horizontal is so far holding. And I went ahead and added this line over here. Look at these peaks going back when we were bottoming in March. Look where these wicks came into. And then over here, look at this particular day on March the 23rd. That acted as resistance. And then after the Fed acted over here, that also became support. 1, 2, 3 touches. That's also where we're at today. It's a pretty big level, I would say. I think it's a pretty big level for the market. Now, what is going to happen going forward from here? We have still another risk event coming up tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The ECB is meeting. We need to see what they do, whether they set up for further action perhaps in December, or whether they try to surprise the market and act today. That's going to affect the dollar. We'll look at that in just a moment over here. With the dollar remotely bid, the equity markets got slaughtered today. Dollar up about 0.5%. Okay, so what's going on over here? Look, the market does not like uncertainty. We have an enormous risk event coming up in just a few days. The elections on November 3rd. The markets right now are kind of just taking that protective stance. It all happened over the weekend when actually signs of a blue wave diminished. No one has any idea what's going to happen. Nobody has any idea what's really going to happen. There are too many variables. The market doesn't like that. Now, let's fast forward to after this phase is behind us, right? Hopefully that's election night. Hopefully one side, the losing side, concedes. Whatever side that may be, hopefully they concede, and hopefully we have a smooth transition of power and get on with it. Most likely not. And then the markets, right? What's going to happen if we don't? Well, obviously, that's going to be some huge uncertainty, and the markets should continue to sell off. Now, what happens if, like, for example, we have a Biden win and the Republicans hold the Senate? The markets might also not initially like that, as that would mean that stimulus is going to have an extraordinarily difficult time passing. Near term, long term, what does that mean? That means the Federal Reserve is going to go ahead and pick up the slack. All right, that signal. Is this noise or is this signal? The market's speaking loudly today, right? We're coming into an area of support. I'll tell you what, I'm not the only one. I have no desire to step in and buy over here. And I'm not the only one. Now, there could be some people who are really aggressive, right? Who are looking to go ahead. And if we hold over on this support over here to step in, I have no idea. Well, let's look at the rest of the indexes before we even decide. But I will not. I would not. Now, I can tell you over here, if we start breaking down a little further, I think where my mouse is right now at 32, right? What do I have that? 32. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that for myself, for us. If we break below this, right, which is entirely possible, if we break below that support, at that point, I'm going to feel pretty comfortable at seeing what's going on, because we could be at that point be targeting much, much, much lower. Right now over here, look, I don't chase momentum. This is big momentum to the downside into an area of trendline support, horizontal support. Let's see what happens in the next 24 hours. I'll tell you what though, I have no inclination to buy whatsoever. I am looking for the market to repair itself before I'm thinking about stepping into equities, or I'm looking for such an event that, that I would say, all right, as I did over here, start stepping in and looking on the long side. This is fun. If this starts happening, I'm going to be there. Is this beginning now? That's too soon for me to tell. That's too soon for me to tell, right? Do I think that it's smart to buy here? No, look, I talked about yesterday the smart money's on the sidelines. The smart money's on the sidelines, waiting and watching for where it's time to come in and pick it up. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you right now, if we get sometime soon, some type of resolution for what's happening next, at that point, a lot of money is going to come flooding back into the markets, and it's only going to be a matter of time, I think, before we take this out. Now, is that only, should we start talking about perhaps visiting 2,300 right now? Or something even, maybe up in 2,600? Should we have that conversation? No, we should not have that conversation. But if you're paying attention, notice it's the first time in 6 months that I've mentioned it. Right? So take note. But no, it's not time to have that conversation yet. Nasdaq, let's take a look over here. I mean, look, I'm on the daily time frame. I'm on the daily time frame because I'm trying to get that vantage point of what's going on. I'm not interested in stepping in here. I have no desire to buy equities right now, nor should you, right? Let's wait for at this point now, we need to wait for some technicals to definitely repair themselves. Do you see that maybe this is setting up? Could this be possible? I doubt it, right? I have like this trend line that I have over here. This is where we were bottoming out. This trend line became support on the way up, breaking down below this area over here, and not just there. I'll make this brighter for us right now also. Breaking down below this area over here. Do I need to call out the lines? I'll call it out for you. It's 10,746 right over there. At that point, then we'll start having a conversation about what's possibly going on, and if we're looking at some significant corrections. What type of correction have we had so far, right? It's a 10% correction. I mean, generally speaking, historically, a 10% correction in the market is inviting and something that you'd want to step into at this particular point in time. Now, liquidity's there. We're at $92 trillion combining all central banks. Liquidity is there. That's not remotely an issue right now. Could solvency become a problem that dominoes? Yes, but that's not happening right now. Right now, the market is seeing further lockdowns in Europe. The DAX got crushed today, right? And then we're also seeing the U.S. election, which is a known risk event, coming in, into the picture in just a few days, right? November 3rd. It's just around the corner, about a week away. So what is the market doing here? I think the market is doing everything that it should be doing. And just remember yesterday, the video that we said, what is the smart money doing? The smart money is neutral. Do I think that you should be selling here? Listen, if you're an active day trader, that's fine. That's not my style. Do I think that you should be leaning in, looking to buy over here? I think at this point, you want to see some type of repair going on before. Don't try to catch the bottom. Don't try to catch the knife just yet. Let's see what's going on. And again, just for all those who are actually sitting back, a lot of people use this channel for longer term investments in the equity markets. This is the line over here. We'll keep tracking that line. Above there, that's really when it's time. A high probability entry, time to attack. I do foresee the markets trading relatively soon a lot higher than they are today. Now that could change. If they change for me technically, then they will change. But Jordan, months ago you were looking at a different area for when you would look to attack to the downside. Yeah, but some months have passed. Things are different right now. All right, the markets are ever evolving, and so am I. Right? If we start looking at the downside, I said if we have some type of event where I'm looking to attack to the downside, I'll let you know. This is not an event. We're not having any type of liquidity crisis right now. All right? Is this a correction that you should buy into? 10% correction is pretty inviting. Not for me. Not yet. Not just yet. Again, if we get through this election, if we get some type of resolution, let's see then what that scenario is, right? Who controls the Senate? Who won the presidency? Let's reassess, figure out what's going on. At that point, you could see a lot of money coming off the sidelines back into the markets. My main thesis remains we're going to see higher highs. That's my main thesis. Right now, we're in a correction, right? This sets off definitely the high probability of when that's occurring again. The only way that I would lean in right now on the long side would be after first looking for a waterfall down. Right now, just staying neutral. All right. What about here on the Dow? Looking ugly, right? But into some major support over here. All this has been flipped. 1, 2, 3. We lost 3 major lines over here. That support blew through them or all resistance. What about now? Do you step in? Are you a hero? Do you step in at the support line? I would not be. I would not be at all. Right? Is it possible we break down further? What are we looking at if we do? Right? Let me go ahead and just show you right now. You can see very clearly. Let me see very clearly. Right over here, 25,469, next area of support. Let me go ahead and just draw that in. That way we have it. So let me look at the Russell with you as well right now. Let me move over to the Russell. Let me first find that support area that I like. This is where I have it, 25,471. What about on the Russell? Again, very clearly, a daily time frame, not looking for any trades. I'm off the 8-hour, okay? 8-hour daily time frame. I'm not looking for any trades. Right over here, you see that bull flag broke down the wrong side. Bearish event. Do I want to buy? Not me, right? Not me. I don't try to catch falling knives. That could be like, losing money is not fun. You're going to lose money if you do that. Stay on the side, stay in a position of power. Nothing going on right now. Let's talk about the dollar. This is where it could get very interesting for us. Why? Let me jump back to the 8-hour. First on the daily time frame, I want to show you we're tracking this trend line over here, right? Could we say that that's a break that's occurring right now? Why? I don't know. That's not clear for me. All right, this looks a little bit better for me on the 8-hour over here. Could I say that we had a breakout, right? We came into that first area of resistance, backed off, and are now touching the trend line. Look, first of all, just let me tell you, these trend lines over here, this is just a guide. So if you look at this and you're like, oh yeah, we're touching that exact trend line, that's just a guide for you. All right, you got to think in the gray area over here. Good news, we've broken out of this no man's land consolidation phase, right? We broke out to the upside. Now we need to see whether or not this breakout holds or not. Okay, the dollar during the New York session has given back a lot over here. It's giving back a lot over here. Now, it could just be testing that breakout. A resumption off of over here. This, by the way, just like news alert, I was dollar bull up until this moment right over here. Someone was asking about what I think about Raoul Pal's charts. And, look, I like listening and learning from everyone. All of that together helps me form my own opinions. Whether someone agrees with me or not, I still like to listen to that side of the discussion to help me better understand and form my own opinions. Now, Raul and myself trade off drastically different time frames. He's trading off of multi-year time frames. I'm trading off the 8-hour, right? I can say that we were correct when we got bearish on the dollar. Right? But we could be having right now another event where I'm going to get bullish on the dollar. Okay? So, and why he's maintained his bullish dollar stance, that's a significant move, by the way. That's not a little move here on the dollar from where we are now. That's significant. All right? So what are we at right now? We could be seeing this type of event that we saw over here that had me change from a dollar bull to a dollar bear. okay? We could be changing right now again. Break of this trend line is the event setting it off. We need to see a resumption out of this. It's that simple right now. This is a major technical breakout right over here. If it holds and if we start trading up, I will become a dollar bull. Now, I don't know how long that will last. That really depends on what happens with the election, right? If we get, like, for example, let's say that we had Biden win the presidency and we had the Democrats, regain the Senate. At that point, do I think that the dollar is going to stay bullish? No, I don't think so. I think it would be a matter of time before we took out the yearly low. But right now, right, and that's fine. Like, if you could get a technical breakout over here, this could go on, and then if we reverse back into it, at that point, we're traders. You have to be able to change your mind as the market changes. You have to be able to not be tied to your opinions. Actually, you need to form opinions in order to be, an investor, a trader. However, you have to be able to be fluid enough that, if a new piece of information has been introduced to you, you have to be willing to change your mind, right? If I find out tomorrow that Bitcoin had a bug, Bitcoin had a bug that I felt that was that was critical to the overall software, the protocol, would I have to exit my position if I felt that changed everything? Yeah, you have to have that type of flexibility. Now, what else is going on over here? Let's look at precious metals. Let's look at gold over here. So first of all, a couple of things. Doesn't look good, right? You saw that. By the way, keep this in your mind, right? We just broke that trend line over here, but we're still kind of like testing now the breakout. That's exactly what's happening. We broke out. We're now retesting. We don't know if we have a failed breakout, right, or we resume off. Same thing here on gold. We had a breakdown as the dollar broke out. This is a breakdown. Same thing though. We're coming back up and we're testing that trend line, that broken trend line. So too soon to sell. Too soon to sell. I have my stop loss actually at 1863. Too soon to say whether or not we're going to be able to resume back up and actually hold that trend line, or if we're going to resume back down, which at point exit the trade, and then we'll reassess. That's it. There's nothing else to say about that, except maybe on the upside right now, I've moved my 1904 support. I'm now making this 1911, 1912 resistance for the way up. Okay. Oh, it's yellow. Let's keep it gold. We'll keep that gold right there. Right now, that's the golden line right now from when I would be looking to trade from the upside again on gold if this trade is stopped out. All right. Now, it doesn't mean if we trade lower, I'm not going to even talk about it right now, talking about what supports we would look to hold for us to resume off of. By the way, I'm ultra bullish on gold, just not in this moment on the 8-hour time frame. From a swing trader's perspective, still holding along. But if we lose this over here, if we resume out of this, at that point, even though I'm ultra bullish on gold, I believe we're in a bull market. At this particular point, I would be neutral on the sidelines. That's not talking about holding a gold position. That's not talking about holding physical gold or anything like that. We're talking about trading here right now. We're giving you the skinny on what's going on in front of us. This looks actually a little bit worse over here. You could see we've been watching this consolidation pattern over here. We broke down. We broke down out of the triangle. Yes, support's holding so far, right? What's next? Well, I'll tell you what's next. We're going to look for a retest and then a resumption down, not to sell. I'm strongly against selling any precious metals, but just observing what happens, waiting, watching the price action, and figuring out when is our next opportunity. On silver, it's really simple. The only time this will become bullish again, right? And again, we've been cautioned about taking any positions on silver whatsoever, right? It's a clear above this trend line over here that will make me bullish on silver. Now, instead of waiting for 26 resistance as I was to be cleared, at this point, it'll just be a break of this trend line. At that point, that will set off even a lower entry. Things are ever evolving. Things are ever changing. Right now, silver has broken down outside of this triangle, this consolidation pattern. Bitcoin, I have to say Bitcoin looks really good over here. So let me just go to the daily time frame with you. Let me show you what happened. This red line over here, that resistance, that's the June 2019 high. This is the Heath line here. We clear this, and when I say clear this, I don't only mean where the resistance that we traded into, right? And we've been saying that well before we came into that touch yesterday. We have to clear this resistance here as well. Above here, Bitcoin could start really making some massive moves. There's not much in the way over there. What do I mean by there's not much in the way? Like, this is all, let me show you on a weekly chart. If I show you in a monthly, it's even more pronounced. There's not much over here though. This was only 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. If you look on a monthly chart, straight wicks. There's not much over here. Bitcoin could start moving really quick once it breaks out above there. Now, this weekend on Saturday, heads up, on Saturday, I will be actually putting together, producing the video that I've been looking to put together. I said as we come into 14,000, that's when I'm going to get out to you. Timing is just working out. On Saturday, I'm going to put together how to best trade the Bitcoin phase of the bull market. So definitely look forward to that this weekend. What else? So Bitcoin came into that resistance. Coinbase went down over here. You know, I mean, just coincidence that it went down into the resistance. But nevertheless, that's what happened. We came into the resistance. Coinbase went down, started selling off a sell-off. Was this related to the dollar move? Maybe. Was this related to risk off? Yeah, right? Is Bitcoin completely uncorrelated from the markets right now? No. Heads up, I've been saying it's the later portion of the first quarter of 2021. All right? We're in the fourth quarter of 2020. Okay? We're only in October. We still have November and December for this quarter. And then I said the later portion of the first quarter. That's not January, right? Is that into February? Yes. Is that March? Yes. That's when we're first going to see really a breakdown of the correlation. And by the way, we have seen the breakdown of the correlation recently, but that's just signs. You're going to see, and then the rest of the year, we're going to see massive breakdowns of that correlation. Today, yeah, you could easily say we saw a risk-off move, crypto's off. Yep, that correlation's in effect, no problem. But this is entirely bullish. First of all, we're holding this over here. Second of all, we've held this, our broken, this was resistance, now support is holding us support. So that whole area is holding over here, right? A resumption off of here, that looks pretty darn bullish to me. When would I get concerned? If we break down over here, right? If we break down over here, I don't think this light support holds at 483. I do think though somewhere around 12,100, this area over here that was resistance should now be support. I have a feeling that's where we would start to see a lot of buy orders come in over there. I would have some over there, as well as right below it, that trend line over here. That trend line support in this area over here, that's a nice pocket to look to lean into if we break this. Right now, Bitcoin's looking very bullish. Let's check in at Ethereum as well right now while we're together. All right, and Ethereum over here. So this was looking very bullish, and then we got smacked down, right? But I did talk about on the live stream yesterday morning as we were into that resistance. Now's the time to lock that trade to break even. Let's talk about it for a second. A lot of people start following the group over here. A lot of people take the course, and all of a sudden they get into trades that are into profit. And what do they want to do? They want to take that profit. That's not how you make taking profits too soon is not how you make money in this game. By the way, you've heard it before, right? You have to cut your losers short and let your winners run. There's nothing truer in trading. There's nothing truer in trading. So if you're taking profits too soon, what are you doing? You're cutting your winners short. Is that a successful formula? Absolutely not. You have to be okay with taking a portion of your trades at break even. It's just a non-event, no big deal. Over here, though, what's happening? We came back in, and if we resume off over here, that's another buying opportunity here on Ethereum. Now, Bitcoin happened to be leading right now. I think that a resumption offer here on Bitcoin looks like a little bit better of a trade, but I do think it's just a matter of time. Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin on the year, right? By a large margin, Do I think that trend continues in the near term? I do. Right now, Bitcoin has been making strides, right? Ethereum and the rest of the alts, they'll do what gold and silver do, that little dance. Gold does the hard work, and then silver races ahead. That's what's going to happen here. So in the near term, I'm looking for Bitcoin to continue to hold on to that lead. And then, Ethereum, though, this is a nice opportunity for those who are interested in the project, looking to take a swing trade over here. Below this trend line over here, at that point, obviously we could see a quick move into 360, right? And hopefully that holds. If it doesn't, things are not looking well. I would expect that holds. Chainlink also now into some channel support over here, right? Everything looking and continues to look healthy. If Chainlink loses this, by the way, you still have a clone line right over there. If you lose that over here, Chainlink could dump back down to $9 very quickly. That would be a big sell-off. All right, everyone. Oh, by the way, Kips, shout out to Kips Qatar. Check out the channel. He's brought to our attention the nickel trade, right? Which, by the way, has been trading technically perfect over here, right? Support into our trend line resistance right over here, back down, came into that local support and now off. And now what is happening? Nickel today is only down 0.67%. As he likes to say, and I'm going to just share right now the wisdom. When you have when you have a day that the dollar's acting strong, pay attention to the instruments that are the least affected by it, because normally when that turns and the dollar starts weakening, those are the instruments that will take off. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed the session. I know I did. If you did, please either go ahead, give a shout out in the comments below, hit that like button. I'll see you all tomorrow morning.